Welcome back to Investing in Trading Live, sponsored by Trading Academy. As always, I am your host, Josh Lilquist. On the last segment, we covered the reason why it depends which financial asset that you trade or invest with. There are multiple reasons on choosing the right one, but because it's going to be coming down to what it will do for you. And with these different markets, futures, forex, options, stocks, they all have different opportunities. It depends on what are some of the things that you need to utilize those, and that's what we're going to discuss on this segment here. But if you miss seats for that investing class that we do here locally, Al teaches these, I teach these as well. We have a great time talking about the financial markets. Simply just call or text the word trading to the number 952-905-0975. I'm going to give that number once again here, so I'll give you a couple seconds to get your phone ready. We have these classes during the week, and on the weekends are about 2 hours long, depending on who teaches them. Call or text the word trading to the number 952-905-0975. We will make sure that we get an answer on that call or respond to your text, trying to find a date and time that works the best for you. Also, we do appreciate our subscribers to the podcast. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Spotify, simply just go to Investing in Trading Live. We do a market update several times per week, but also if you miss part of the show, you'll be able to catch it there as well. So that's Investing in Trading Live, wherever you listen to podcasts. So, Al, on this next segment here, it's the grand finale of the day. And, with that last segment, we talked about why it depends which financial asset or vehicle that you utilize in the markets. I want you to discuss a couple things here. Let's just say, I'm going to give you a hypothetical example here. Let's just say somebody listening here has between $5,000 and $10,000 available, liquid, to use the market, whether they have it ready to go as cash or in a checking account, or maybe it's already in a trading account, because you need money to open an account and trade with. Mm-hmm. Now, let's just say somebody has between $5,000 and $10,000 that they want to use it in the markets for an income strategy. Now, which vehicle, in your opinion, might have the best opportunity with that level of capital between $5,000 and $10,000?
Yeah, you know what? And it's hard to pinpoint, because you can have an account to trade options with a couple $1,000s in it. That doesn't mean that you're putting that much money into each position, but that's typically what most brokers would require for you to be active in the options market. With the futures market, the foreign exchange market, you can have a small amount of money in those to trade those assets. So that $5,000 or $10,000 will really suffice no matter which of those assets you want to choose. So again, then it gets down to which one is going to give you the best opportunity of achieving your goals in the time period that you want to achieve those goals, or maybe just which one has the most interest to you. All three of those, options, futures, forex, have leverage. That's what most of the public, the retail traders, are missing out on the benefits of leverage. They either don't understand leverage and don't use it, which is missing some great opportunities, or worse yet, they don't understand leverage and try to use it, and then they end up losing a lot.
Yeah, I was having a talk with some folks, I believe it was in Arizona recently, and we talked about that. I said, well, what are some of the benefits that we have or the institutions have? And the comment was, institutions have access to all this money. Well, of course they do. But we can use leverage and do that same concept. It may be smaller amounts, but it doesn't really matter.
Almost everything that the institutions trade to get the big returns that they're getting are available to us as retail traders, as the public. It's just that not many people are teaching you how to use them. We mentioned income before. I think there's two components to your financial life. There's the income component. There's the wealth retirement component. You can't have a good wealth retirement component unless you really understand and use the income component first. For a lot of people, they're living paycheck to paycheck. And I'm talking about people that are in the six-figure income that live paycheck to paycheck. Right now, according to Bankrate, the average American believes that they need to make $186,000 a year to live comfortably. Well, only 18% of the people in the country make over $100,000. And the median household income is about $74,000.
Is it really only 18%?
That's correct.
Really? Wow.
According to Bankrate, that's only 18% make over $100,000.
Wow.
So most people, and then when you think that now people are saying they need to have at least $186,000, that brings that number down even more. So how do you do that? What do you do if you don't have that kind of money? Because at some point in time, you will be retired and you're going to need to have something to live on in retirement. How great would it be if you knew income strategies to use where it really didn't make that much difference how much money you had in your retirement portfolio, because you could basically use the financial markets as an ATM machine. If you learn those income strategies, learn them now while you're still building for your retirement, and then when you retire and the income from your job is gone, which for most people is the primary source of their living, they're paying their bills, when that's gone, what do you do to replace it? A lot of people they rely on Social Security or maybe family members. Well, there are the assets we talked about, the income-producing assets. If you learn them now, you can use them in retirement too.
Yeah, that's as long as you can click a mouse. And I think that we can go a lot more into detail in these investing classes about these different opportunities with capital requirements. But if you want to come into those classes and just bring those questions with you, simply call or text the word trading to the number 952-905-0975 for 2 seats for a class. But bring those questions in. It's a interactive class, so that way we can make sure we get you the answers that you need. So get your phones ready. Call or text the word trading to the number 952-905-0975. Now, so we talked about capital requirements there, or opportunities. Let's just say, and let's kind of stay in that realm of things, but let's just say somebody has a little bit of time in the evenings to invest and trade. They work 9 to 5. It's very difficult for a person to trade the stock market when they work 9 to 5 because they're not home. They're probably not at their computer. If they are at a computer, it's hard to be efficient and have a strategy when you're at work. There's just no way around it. So let's just say somebody has a couple hours in the evening. Let's just say 2 nights a week or 3 nights a week, whatever that is. Doesn't matter which day. What can they do with that time aspect?
Well, and that gets back down to the right asset to use in your strategy. There are assets. You mentioned the stock market. Stock market's only open 6.5 hours. What if you had close to 24 hours a day to trade and invest? That gives you a much greater opportunity. The futures market, the foreign exchange market are open essentially 24 hours a day. That gives you some great opportunity, no matter what your schedule is, to be able to participate. And both of those have great leverage. Just as an example, if you have a portfolio with $2,000 in it, you could potentially, with a Forex trade, control as much as $100,000 in an investment.
So that's 50 to 1 leverage.
That's 50 to 1 leverage. That's how the big players, that's how all the people that are truly successful in the country are maximizing the value of their investments. You look at each dollar that you have as an employee. If you had a company and you had an employee that wasn't working, that just slept all day, you'd get rid of them. Well, if you have a dollar that's not working for you, it's not really benefiting you much. So why not use something that gives you the ability to multiply the impact of each dollar you have? Those are the leverage assets. You can trade those if you have an IRA, a self-directed IRA, you can trade those. If you have a regular portfolio, you can trade those. And we'll show you what these are. We'll talk to you about them. A lot of people that come into these classes, Josh, come in and they're afraid of the market. They're afraid of doing this. By the time they get through with the 2 hours, I think you see a huge difference in their confidence level. And then the majority of the people that come into these 2-hour classes want to do something in addition. They realize what the benefits are, and they believe that there's a way for them to achieve those benefits. So come into these classes and let us show you what you can do, what the potential can be for you.
Yeah, and that way you make your own educated decision. It's not based on a video that you saw online or who knows what it is. We've been around for 27 years, Al, and teaching people all across the world the skills of trading and investing. We have multiple locations all across the country, but also in other countries as well. But, you mentioned people are afraid of the markets. It's because you've been conditioned to be afraid. You've been told you shouldn't do these things, and the financial firms have done a great job of marketing. Not to put them down or anything, because that's a business that they have, but it's really been hurting the public. You mentioned the average person makes 18% makes over $100,000 a year, right, which was much lower than I expected. Now, partially, they don't make enough money to save to invest. But if you don't have that, you can use leverage in the markets. And that's why we're covering all these aspects of the market, so you can make the educated decision for what you need out of the market and then how to get there. Now, these investing classes that Al was alluding to, a lot of great folks coming into these. We have a good time going over these different concepts and techniques and strategies on the market. So make sure to bring your questions in. If you have 401k questions, IRA questions, bring those in. We'll answer those for you. It's an interactive class that we do in these investing classes. So simply to come into these classes, call or text the word trading to the number 952-905-0975. We talked about the solution to profitable trading today. Timing the market, why it depends on which asset that you use, and then also how to utilize your time and capital. Today, Al is here. Today's OTA tip of the week.
Well, we live in a world that wants to control our time and our energy. And an easy, less overwhelming way to react to it is just let it happen. But it takes action to change your focus. And when you change your focus, you also change your energy. So remember, you don't have to have a perfect plan. You just need to start taking meaningful steps in the direction of what's most important to you. Building meaningful progress eventually builds your self-confidence as you learn. Begin moving from self-limiting beliefs and start unfolding your infinite potential.
I like that. It's being inspired to do things differently. Hopefully we can inspire you. And when you come into these investing classes, you'll be able to see and make your own educated decision. To come into these classes, call or text the word trading to the number 952-905-0975. Also, follow the podcast. That's Investing in Trading Live, wherever you listen to podcasts. As always, same time, same place next week. Until then, retire young, my friends.